Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, creatives, artists, enthusiasts, and those who are just here to kill time, you're welcome to this special edition of Creative Culture Abuja. And we're having what I like to call the YoungGod experience. And basically, if you know the show, you're a fan of the podcast, and you know what I'm about, what we're about, this is going to be a live performance of the podcast show. And I have with me two very able-bodied individuals, creative in every sense of the word. We have Mr. Nimi, and we have Isah, the purple heart, the purple monster. Yes. So just a quick introduction to the show and what you can expect tonight. Basically, my guests tonight are going to perform the show as though you guys aren't here. We're going to perform the show while you guys are sort of like silent observers. We're going to tackle the topic, which is building a creative culture. And then after, say, about 30 to 40 minutes, we'll now open the floor to the audience, you guys who can now contribute, add, and join us in this tete-a-tete. So a quick background about the podcast itself. I like to say that the YoungGod podcast is a podcast for gods. It's for anyone who is committed to being the best version of themselves, doing the most, working on excellence, and just tackling life head on. And that's very key in this day and age where it's easy to kind of to coast and take life like a victim when things get hard and when things get kind of dim, especially living in this part of the world where, excuse my French, shit is real. So as creatives, as people who are trying to make the most of a tricky situation, platforms like this are important, where we can curate ideas and conversations that help us, visualize what we could be as the best version of ourselves, as gods unto ourselves, just creating the world we want to see and doing the most. So, in order for this to work, I need you to know that the podcast is being recorded live, which means that everything you say and every sound you make will be heard by people who are going to hear the podcast later on. So 2 things I need from you guys. I need you guys to make your presence felt right now. Can you guys make some noise? Yes. Let them know that this is not just us, right? Okay. So feel free to take notes, keep some things in the back of your head, because when we let loose, I'm going to expect you guys to reach out, speak your mind, share your experiences, and let's make this worth your while. Are you with me? Are you with me? Yes. All right. So, I'm joined by Isah. He's a musician, a rapper, and he just released his debut album a couple of weeks ago. It's called Purple Heart. Am I right? Yeah. And Mr. Nimi, who's the executive director of Creative Culture Abuja, and they're the ones who put this great thing together. So please, let's have a round of applause for these 2 gentlemen. And after this, we're going to pretend like you guys aren't here, okay? It's an experiment I like to try. So just imagine you're listening to this with your headphones on, except you can see us. We're going to have this conversation between guys, casual, and we'll just see where it goes from here. Are you ready? Are you ready? Okay. So, I'm going to give the mic to Mr. Isah. Please just tell us about yourself, tell us what you do, why you do it, and what's up with you.
Yeah, hello everyone. My name is Isah, or Isah the Prince. I'm a musician. I'm one of the co-founders of Creative Culture, and I'm the creative director of Creative Culture. So you asked why I do this. Like, I pretty much do this just to further the creative industry. I feel like if we don't build the industry ourselves, then no one is going to do it. And we can't keep on waiting on people to build the industry for us. Yeah, that's pretty much why I do it.
Hi, my name is Nimi Walson Jack, and I'm one of the co-founders of Creative Culture. Um, what I'm about? I'm about productivity. I like to see, yeah, I like to get shit done and see other people get shit done because too many people identify themselves as consumers, and we really need to just try and make a shift in that mindset. So, which is why I do what I do, because if we don't make a shift as creatives, we're going to be stuck living a life that other people basically set out for us rather than the life that we could be living.
Very well said. You said something very important, that you want to, create, you want to contribute to the culture. You want to, not wait for anyone. And then you also said you want to get shit done. And those two things, you know what that says to me? That's just a glimpse of the God mentality, what it means to be a God. You want to get shit done, and you don't want to wait for anyone to kind of like inspire you or show you a way. You just want to, you know what you feel inside, and you want to bring it out into the world. And that's very, very key today, where a lot of people are always looking for inspiration. A lot of people go to a lot of different events, and just to have someone tell them shit they already know. They want to get that feeling of like you've done the work when you haven't, just because you've listened to someone tell you what you want to hear. So it's very important for us who are out here, putting our artwork out here, having these conversations, putting out the things we want to see in the world. That's the God mentality. That's what it means to be a God, and that's what the YoungGod podcast is about. So in your way, how are you creating the culture? What is that? What things are you putting in place? I know you're doing creative culture. You're doing, you have your albums, your music. So what's your thought process and all of that?
That's a very good question. First off, I believe in collaboration and I believe in community. We can all get there faster together than just going at it myself. I've tried going at it alone and it never works out. Yeah, so I'm about collaboration, and I'm very big on speaking the truth. You get, and that's what the dopest creatives in the world do. They speak their truth, and people can connect to them on a deeper level, and they shape things in the world. So that's what I'm big on. I want us to all make a change. It's not about me. It's about the whole collective of creatives. So yeah.
Okay. How about you, Nimi? When someone says to you, create the culture, what comes to mind?
The first thing that comes to mind is my individual culture or our individual cultures, because you first have to be able to create your own culture for yourself before you can propagate that culture on a larger scale. So I think everyone can play a role in creating the right culture, but it starts with changing your own culture.
I love that. And that reminds me of something I said one time. Don't let the culture influence your message. Let your message influence the culture. You get? And I think that is the underlying essence of being an artist, a creative individual. You have something in you that you must put out. And when you put it out in its truest, purest form, it resonates and it influences the culture. More people pick up on that. You've inspired he, and he will inspire she. And it just keeps going until there's a full-blown blast. And that is why, as we're here, we're seeing so many different artworks that tell different stories. You can literally see, if you look close enough, you can see the blood, sweat, and tears that some of these guys put in here. Hours and hours and hours of, in the dark, battling their inner demons, trying to tell a story. So, in your work, what kind of story are you looking to tell? What's in you that has to be out there?
In my work, the truth. The truth. So, what's my truth? Man, there's no one version. Yeah. So my truth is, first off, love. Spreading love. That's the only way we can fix this shithole of a world we're in. Yeah. Especially Nigeria. My truth is vulnerability. So I think on my album I was as vulnerable as I could be. There are a lot of things I said that I shouldn't have said. Or yeah, yeah, a lot. Yeah. So there's a lot of things I said I shouldn't have said, but I had to take my ego out of the way. I had to think about the greater good, and that's why I could have the confidence to do what I did. So let me say truth, vulnerability, love. Yeah, that's what I can say for now.
Okay, my truth is I find myself in Nigeria at this time in history, and let's just say things have not been handled well, which puts all our futures at risk. So for me, I have two options in this situation. I can decide to live here, or I could move to Canada or something. But if I'm going to live here, then I have to try to create a better future for myself. And I feel now creating a better future, it's not something one person can do. But I know a lot of us desire this better future and have a shared vision of how things should be. So we just have to realize that the only reason we don't have what we want is because we're not united. Like, the existing culture in Nigeria exists, the popular culture exists because people are organized to enforce that culture, and this organization may be in way of political parties or whatever other form of people coming together to say this is how we're doing things. So as creatives, I feel if we can come together and say, no, this is how we are doing things, as long as we're united in saying that, we can get what we want.
I love that you mentioned Nigeria, because where does one even begin? I feel like Nigeria is a place that you cannot be in the middle. If you're gonna, it's either you rise above the mediocrity and the trash, or you drown in it. There's no middle ground. That's how, toxic things are here. And I remember when I first got back, and I started this 2013 October, and in 2014 I had the privilege of serving in the State House during Jonathan's time. And now I'm talking about being right there in the seat of power. And I'm there, and I'm doing all the tasks that he sent me to do, and I'm observing things and seeing how things are done for the first time. This is a guy who's been away for like 7 years, and I'm back and I'm in the thick of things. And I knew deep down, even though the pay is good, even though like the opportunities you get from being this close to the presidency is, boundless, I felt like it would rob me of my creativity. Like every day that I was there, I felt like a part of me was dying because it's just like menial stuff. It doesn't challenge you. It doesn't make you aspire to something, more. It's just you have what you're supposed to do, and you do it. Or half the time there's nothing to do, so you're just hearing all these other civil servants just, and talk about their daily lives and stuff like that. I'm like, that is not what I see in myself. So after my service, I sat down with my dad, and I told him, "Yo, I'm not gonna. They want to retain me, but I'm not gonna go back. I'm gonna pick up a camera." And you can imagine how an Igbo man will look at you, his eldest son, talking about you want to leave the state house and pick up a camera, carry camera around. So that was my first step in like trying to define what the culture means to me, my truth, in putting my foot down and saying, okay, if I can take this step and defy the first barrier, which is your family, your parents, your father, the people who raised you, if you can defy them and then take on that confidence and you keep defying every aspect of society that comes your way, up until early last year when I started calling myself a god, and then people will like come at me for being blasphemous. You get? They say, Rodney, how can you say that? How can you call your podcast this and that, this and that, this and that? But I stuck to it. And now we're here talking about it. So for you guys, what do you feel was that barrier you had to overcome as a creative to like really assert yourself and be like, this is my life and this is how I'm going to define it?
I think it's pretty much the same thing. I think we have similar experiences. I did an internship at like I think Unity Bank for like a month. That's the only working experience I've ever had. And
So you haven't served?
no comments. But yeah, that's the only working the experience I've had. And I walked into that system, and it just didn't suit my personality. It didn't suit it at all. It's a lot of like political battles and stuff. You have to pretty much be kissing people's asses to get ahead in life, and I don't believe in that mentality. So I had to go through a lot of unlearning and relearning, and I'm still doing that till date. And I think everyone needs to do that, because the belief system that we're probably taught about from our parents and the people that cared for us, is built for us to fail, or at least succeed in a mediocre way. Yeah. So I had to unlearn and relearn a lot of things. But yeah, that was the starting point.
I think for me, there wasn't any particular moment, but like it was just a build-up of different encounters with institutions and people that are entrenched in the established culture. But with each encounter, I realized that I couldn't. Okay, so I was consulting for a while, marketing, biz dev, and I realized none of that was going to make me happy if I had to work with people that were of a different culture from me, because we're always bumping heads. So I think for me, that was the point where I sort of had to draw a clear line and decide that I'm only doing with business with people that are of the same culture, because that's the only way it's going to be sustained.
Yeah. Now, taking it away from us, since maybe 2015 till now, there's been this growth of local artists who are gaining more confidence in, owning the fact that they create art and, do all kinds of stuff. And right now, I think 2019, things came to a head, because now I see people like Grim Honey, Zara, her art is just so hard. Like you see it, where her head is at. You see someone like Quave Art, I don't know if you know her, based in Kaduna. Her art, and there's another lady, young lady who's, really putting herself in her art. So you see Onize as well, another young lady who's doing her thing. And I'm just inspired because there's a lot of freedom now. People are putting their foot down, like, this is what I do and this is what I want to do. and their parents, society have to like, shit, okay, just do it. Let's see where it goes. You get, and it's a blessing. It's encouraging, and it makes the journey worthwhile because now you're sitting down, you're looking at all these people, and you can't wait to see the final manifestation of the God in them. That's the point of everything. Like you want to see how far you can go, and what the end result will be like the best version of me. What would that look like? And it starts from seeing all this great art. So for me, I want to ask you a question now. Which of these artists in Abuja do you like really, really like their work resonates with you when you see it, you love it, you just can't wait to, share it? For me, it's Mumu Illustrator, who, everyone please shout out to Etubi. Yeah, he designed the cover art of my podcast. It's amazing. Check it out, you see it. And then Grim Honey Zara, I don't know if she's here. I mentioned Onize, I mentioned Kweve. Who else comes to mind? But these are the guys that when I think of Abuja artists who are doing the most, these are mine. How about you?
Man, that's like a very tough question because there's a lot of them. But off the top of my head, I would say Wale. Those are his paintings right there. He likes to paint women, and I kind of like, I like women. Grim Honey, cause she's quite sensual with her art. Yeah, so I resonate with that. And Onize, just for who she is, like she's like one of the best to do everything that she does. So yeah, I can't go past that point.
Yeah, you guys have mentioned most of my favorites, so I'll just add one person, Yinkore. She has pretty good art. Yinkore. No.
So yeah, we're tapped in, man, and we're loving it. So now collaboration, right? That's another thing that's really important in building the culture. And my thing is, man, we need to stop forming. We need to, if you see something you like, tell the person, reach out. You get, like, for example, the sponsors of my podcast, there are a couple of them, but I'm gonna just plug two for a reason. This hat, for example, is made by a guy called Amir by Amir. His brand is called Amir by Amir. And I saw his hat on someone else randomly. And I asked, yo, who made that? And then he sent me the guy's Instagram page. I went on there, I reached out to the guy, and I saw he had like all kinds of mad designs. And I said to him, yo, bro, I love this stuff. I would love to have you as a sponsor on the show. And what happens now is that he agreed. Every guest that comes on the show gets a free hat, and a lucky listener gets to win a hat as well. So these are the kind of collaborations that come when you just decide, you know what, yeah, I'm dope on my own, but we could be so much doper together. So just reaching out, swallowing your pride, your ego, and understanding that, yeah, everyone has room to flourish. And every time someone sees the hat, they become a fan of the show because they go on to the page, they see what it's doing, and they become a fan of the show. And fans of the show will see the hat and go on his page and support it. So little things like that kind of help the culture, help build the creative culture in Abuja. And funny enough, this print design was designed by his sister, who's also an artist. Do you get? So there's just so much involved when you just decide to get others involved. Just like, and same with Isah. Isah reached out to me on Instagram and was like, bro, I love what you do. Come and be a part of this. Join us. Let's make magic together. And here we are. So for you guys, what's a collaboration that you look fondly on, and how do you view it? What's your goal when you want to collaborate with someone?
First off, it has to be organic. I'm not a fan of forcing things, and it has to be for the best of the project. So you have the time. You have to take your ego away when you're collaborating. Like you have to swallow your pride. So the person just has to be really dope at what they do, and I need to connect to it on a deeper level. And I'm open to a lot of things. I reached out to you. I reach out to people every day. So yeah, if I connect to the art on a deeper level, then yeah, I'll reach out.
Collaborations, yeah. Yeah, with collaborations, I think about two things. One, does the person you're collaborating with have the ability to deliver what you expect of them? Because there's no point expecting from someone if they can't. And the second thing is also stems from that is sustainability, because do I trust that this person is going to keep going and not maybe when there's some success drop out and be like, yo, I'm out.
Oh man, that's sustainability, very very key. I think yeah, that's part of the fear. Sometimes you don't want to collaborate with someone because they might not go the distance. You get, and going the distance is very 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 key. Another thing I like to talk about is technique. I see a lot of great artists, great artwork, different techniques, different styles, but I've found even in my practice as a photographer and other creative expressions I've tried that there are limits to technique. You get, there's a limit to how good you can actually master the stuff you do. The next thing that takes it to the next level is being brave, taking risks, creating things you haven't created before with that skill you have. And I think that's where, come 2020 and beyond, a lot of Abuja and even Nigerian artists are gonna, like, that's the distinction now. Those who are gonna be separated from the weeds from the chaff. Those who can use their work and do, and like go beyond. Not just, bro, who's painting women? Like, what's the next evolution? What's the next level? Mumu illustrator who designs all kinds of, amazing, artworks. What's the next level? Do you get? Isah the prince. How are you gonna, take more risks? Because you've already done a great job with your album. You already in fact, your first outing, you already bust brains, man. Guys, some things he said on there, man. Even I was like, bruh, what did you go through? What have you been through? So, I think right now, even with brands, with my clients, because my day job is brand strategy. I build brands, and I always tell them, you cannot be doing the same thing everyone else is doing. You gotta take a risk, but at least it has to be on brand. But take a risk, do some shit that no one is gonna see coming, and that's kind of like what I did with the podcast. Because before this, it was called The Creative Habit, but it was too, for me, it told the story well enough, but it was easy to just skip it. Yeah, it was easy to just skip it. So the risk I did was in saying, okay, I'm going to call this the YoungGod. And every single person that I sent the idea to was like, nah, man, you can't do this. It's not going to sit well with people. You know where we are. And that was all the more reason why I did it. Because I knew it would get the people going. So what kind of risks are you going to be willing to take in the future, going forward? With this, with what the creative culture does, with what you do personally, same as you, as a, guy who likes to get shit done. What risks are we looking forward to 2020?
Okay. Um, maybe rephrase the question because.
Okay. Let me see it like this, right? Risks. What's the next level you get? What's the thing you're going to do that's out of your comfort zone when it comes to all the ways that you express yourself, all the things that you do, whether it's professionally or personally? Is there any insight you can give us? Because those who are listening, you can bet that they are kind of in their comfort zone a lot. A lot of these artists, except a very few, are in their comfort zone. So how would you,
Okay. I'll say getting out of our comfort zone as an organization. Now we produce events and we create content. events wise, how can we increase that output? This is like for us the sort of next level. Can we get in 20, 30, 50, 100 events a month? So yeah, most people would not think in that direction, but in terms of risk, so that's the way we think, like trying to go where no one else is ready to go, because we know we have an abundance of talent like around us. We just have to come together and give people a reason to create.
For creative culture, for creative culture, I think we're going to do whatever it takes to make Abuja the top creative city in Africa. Like whatever it takes. Do you guys think that's possible?
Yes. Why not?
Is it possible?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So we'll do whatever it takes, and we need everyone's help. We need everyone's help. And for myself, I'm already a risk taker, but I'm going to keep on doing what I do. I'm going to keep on learning as much as I can learn, because I'm only as good as what I know, and I think everyone is as good as what they know.
Guys, so we're done talking. We want to get you guys involved now. So, first of all, I'm going to throw a question to the... You know what? Before I even do that, please make some noise. I want to hear you guys. Make some noise, please. Yes. So, my question, and you guys humor me, please, okay? My question. What risks are you willing to take to get your craft, your work to the next level, be it in the creative field or otherwise? What are you about? Who wants to take this? Who wants to take this? Yeah, this one. Yeah. Yeah, so the mic is going around. What risks are you taking? Okay, caller over there. Yeah. What risks are you taking to influence the Abuja creative culture? Yes, or do you hope to take? Yeah.
Okay, so basically, oh, it's okay. So hello.
Okay. Yeah.
Let me just- Hello. Okay. So for me personally, the risk I'm taking is trying to do something different from my line. I'm trying to learn more skills, and in terms of like art, I do photography, videography, and animation presently. But I'm trying to go into 3D modeling and painting. So like in my field, like how do you just start doing something else that's not related to basically what you're doing? So like I don't even know how I'm going to start making money from that eventually. That's one. Second, I'm also planning in the future to do trainings, to be able to also learn or share like my skill. So like I feel like right now I don't even know if it's going to even work out, but I feel like that's my own personal risk. Yeah. Thank you.
Sorry, Kola, can you say your name for us?
Oh, my name is Adekola Emmanuel. Sorry? Oh, my brand is Kolimo Multimedia. Thank you.
Yeah, so you guys are live on IG right now, so don't fall our hands, okay? So if you have a question, there's a lovely lady over there, right there, covering her mouth. Yes, I feel like Even though there's food in your mouth, there's something you want to say. Yes. Yeah. So, anyone? Anyone? Okay.
Okay, I'm talking about personal risk. For as an individual, it's easy to get boxed up by experiences and people's expectation of you. So, like you said, I've been in my comfort zone for so long, going around, attending events, looking for inspiration. But I've decided that I'm not going to allow anyone box my expression. As a music artist, sometimes you sing and people tell you, oh, try to sound like this person, try to do it this way, but you know what you want to say. And when you try to collaborate with producers, you find them trying to make you sound like someone who is there, but you know what you have in your heart. And sometimes you also second guess yourself, question yourself, thinking, will this go out there? Will this make money? So I'm trying to get my mind out of this. Will this make money? And just put myself out there, express myself, and then I'm sure that there are people who will appreciate that.
You know, I like that she said that, because there's something that is like really key in being a creative these days, especially on social media, is don't create, or don't like try to create, like just document. You're already doing the stuff. Do you get? You're already living the life. You're already creating stuff, making music, going to the studio. So I think even without trying too hard to manufacture a look, an image, or whatever, you're already doing stuff that people want to see. Because it's actually that process that's the truth. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So when you start that way, just putting out who you are on a daily basis and letting those who, fuck with that. Can I swear? I can swear. It's my podcast. I can swear. Yeah. So yeah, don't create, document. So please, when next you're in the studio, while you're thinking of the money to be made, just show us what's going on. Let's see, because I think that will like really endear us to your craft. I think all the artists here who kind of like do behind the scenes of their work in the studio, when we see what the process is, what they're going through, it kind of makes us connect. And then when you come out here and you see the final work, for example, Etubi does this very well. He's always putting out, work in progress of his stuff. And now you come out here and you see the final stuff, and you just want to covet all of it like it's all mine, and put it in your pocket and go. So that's what's up. Anyone else want to share or ask a question? Or I'm going to pick someone randomly, because we got to get this. I'm still looking at my lady. No. How about you, Paul? Yeah. So I know, what do you do, first of all?
Hi, I'm Paul. So I build funnels. That's the most important thing, and it's a lot parts of marketing. And what happens, I've seen, is what people do when they're selling their products is they say, hey, I have this product and I want you to come buy it. So they might run ads, but they're basically just pitching their product straight away. But then with a funnel, is what you're able to do is you're able to take someone from not knowing about you, your brand, from being totally cold, from where they are, to being, say, your highest paying customer or your most loyal fan. That's basically what I build. So in terms of risks, what I find that I've been doing lately, and it's very risky, is putting myself out there. So when you meet me the first time, you might assume that I'm extroverted and outgoing, but I'm very, very, I won't use the word shy, but I know I'm very introverted. I don't like to leave my room. That's where I work. And recently I've been going out and I've been meeting people, and I've been realizing, holy shit, what I build is so much more valuable than I actually think it is. And so is that risk, the risk I'm taking now is just putting myself out there and meeting people, growing my empathy, trying to understand what they're trying to achieve, trying to understand their challenges, trying to help them build their offers in a way that they can just get the best out of them. Because I know one important thing about being a creative is imposter syndrome. That's one. And number two, trying to figure out how to, say, get paid for your work. So a lot of people are so fixated on how to make it go, how to make it blow, that they lose their souls and their creativity drops. So what I'm able to do is go in there and help them focus on the most important thing while those bases are covered. And, being in a place like this, for instance, helps me meet people who I can provide value to. Yeah.
Nice one. Please, he spoke well. So yeah. So how can a creative benefit from, online marketing with their work? In your professional opinion, how can social media and the like help them in getting their work out there? Because it's one thing to do the work, we all know that. It's another thing to get it in front of the right eyes. So what would you say?
The first step really is understanding who you're trying to reach. A lot of people make the mistake of thinking that everyone is their audience. At some point, everyone is your audience, but until you're able to scale to that level, you really, really have to start with the early adopters, those people that are absolutely going to rush after what you want to do. And so what happens with social media and what allows you to do is to be able to find these people, find where they hang out, understand their language, because that is very important. You're not going to come to me with language that's foreign to me and expect me to understand you. So you have to find where they are, understand their language, see their patterns, on a much scarier level, and I think it's helped by Facebook or Instagram Insights, for instance, is, what time are these people most active on the platform? What time do I get the most engagements? There's a lot of trial and error, but still the most important thing is to find those people, provide the content that they'd like, communicate with them, share value, focus on the value, while also understanding that in order to truly grow, you have to get paid for it. Because a lot of people think that if you're doing something, even if it's being creative, you undersell yourself just to get the people in. You're going to end up getting lower quality people in, So understand your community, the people you're looking for, and get to them. That's basically it.
I hope some of us who have challenges in this department have gleaned some kind of information. And what he said was very key, actually, profiling. That's one of the challenges we have here as creatives, being able to be very, very specific with the kind of people who should get your work. Before we wrap, one more person. Anybody want to say a few things? Want to contribute? I'm looking at you. No? Okay. Anyone? Anyone in the back? Okay. The Mumu illustrator himself wants to contribute. Let's find him.
Just to share something. Okay. Good evening. My name is Etsubi Onucheyo. I'm an illustrator, artist. So the only thing I would say, or rather I want to say, is talking about collaboration. It's time that is needed, because you're there just creating your work, but then there's no time. You have to be willing to sacrifice time for collaboration. You have to be willing to, that's all we have, time. Give people time so that you can listen. They could say something you're not expecting.
Oh, that's poignant. That is very, very poignant. Nice one, Itubi. Yeah. So, on a final note, on a very, very final note before we wrap, Isah, would you like to say something? You good, Nimi? Sure.
Man, every one of you, thank you for coming out this evening. We really appreciate it. Yeah, that's all I have to say for now.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for a very, very, very nice session. Please do check out the YoungGod podcast. It's available on all platforms. It's a podcast for gods. It will change your life, literally. It'll delight you, make you think, and put you onto new things. Thank you to the Creative Culture Boys for having me, Isah, Nimi, and the rest of the team. You guys are wonderful. and let's have some fun. Thank you very much.